Hello students, welcome back. So we were discussing about metals and non-metals and we have covered till the chemical properties of the metals. Fine. So today we'll see the chemical properties of non-metal. Okay. Of non-metal, only one property we'll see that we have seen with metal as well. So that is the reaction with oxygen. Fine. Simple one. When non-metal, like metal reacts with oxygen, form metal oxide. Similarly, non-metal when reacts with oxygen, it forms non-metal oxide. Okay, non-metal oxide. This is in general. For example, let's take carbon and heat in the presence of oxygen. You will get carbon dioxide and heat will be evolved. So it's an exothermic reaction. Fine. Then let's if we heat carbon in limited supply, okay, in limited supply of oxygen, then it will form carbon monoxide gas, which is very poisonous. Okay, carbon monoxide is poisonous in nature. This is carbon monoxide because only one oxygen is there, so mono means one, di means two. Fine. Similarly, sulfur reacts with oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. Fine. So this is the, you can say, reaction of non-metal with the oxygen. Fine. And when then these non-metallic oxide, when they react with water, we know that what's the nature of this? They are acidic in nature, because when you react with water, then they form acids. Fine. So they are acidic oxides. Or sometimes neutral also. Acidic oxides gets formed. Okay. So you just note it here. Then non-metallic oxides are generally acidic but sometimes neutral. In some cases, neutral oxides also get formed. Fine. So this is about the only property of non-metal. Now let's see the next one. Reaction of metal with non-metal. So that is a property of both metal as well as non-metal. Okay, it is a chemical property of both. So let's see how metals and non-metals, they react with each other, and what is, you can say, what is the force which is leading them towards the reaction that they have to react. Okay, so metal reaction with non-metal. Okay, so let's see. So before that, let's see what is reactivity. Reactivity is a reactivity in terms of both metal as well as non-metal. We are saying some metals are really reactive, some non-metals are reactive. So what's the meaning of reactivity? Reactivity, it is the tendency of an element to achieve stable configuration, that is nearest noble gas configuration or valence shell. Valence shell configuration. You know that how many electrons are required for the completion of the octet, that is valence shell. 8 head electrons has to be there. Fine. Now how a particular element, why they are reactive? Because they want to become stable. Fine. Everywhere seen, if you see in general also in like universe, everything needs to be stable. Everyone like wants to move towards stability. Fine. So similarly, elements, they also want to become a stable one. Fine. So how they will become stable? They become stable by either losing their electrons or by gaining electrons, so that they can achieve the nearest noble gas configuration. Okay, so whatever is possible for them, they'll do that. Okay, so this can be done. This can be done by either losing electrons or by gaining electrons. Okay, so they'll attain noble gas configuration, nearest noble gas, whatever is nearest to that. So they'll try to achieve that. Fine. Now let's see how the bond gets formed and what is the bond. So we'll see each and every term one by one. Before that, just let's give a brief review regarding the ions, but you also know from your 9th standard as well. So let's see ions. Ions, we know these are the charged species. Charged species, okay, formed by either losing or by gaining electrons. That's why ions are formed. Why ions are formed? So that they become stable. This is the reason for the formation of the ions. So two types of ions are there, cations and anions, that you already know. Cations, they are positively charged species, and anions, they are negatively charged species. Yes, positively charged. Why? Because they are formed by the loss of electrons. Formed by loss of electrons. This is formed by gain of electrons. So they will become stable. Okay, let's see the different examples how cations and anions are formed. Fine. So this is, I think it's clear to everyone. This you already know from your previous class. Fine. That cations are positively charged, formed by loss of electrons. Anions are negatively charged, formed by gain of electrons. Okay. So let's see their formation. How they are getting formed by losing or by gaining their electrons. Okay. Formation of cations. Okay, so let's take sodium. What is the configuration of sodium in terms of K and M? Electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. Fine. So when sodium, see, in the last shell of the sodium only one electron is present. Fine. So sodium will lose, when it will lose its one electron, it's easy to lose one electron. So when it will lose its one electron, okay, then it will become 2, 8. It means in the last shell 8 electrons are present. It means its octet is complete. But if it will not lose this electron, it means the octet is not complete. So how many electrons are required for the completion of octet? Then you will be seeing 7, because 1 is there. So it's very difficult to gain 7 electrons. So instead of gaining 7, it will lose 1. So that, because finally it has to become stable. So anyhow it can become stable either by losing or gaining. So but it's a metal, so metal always loses their electrons. That's why they are reactive. Okay. Sodium, it will lose its one electron, and then positive charge will come on the sodium and one electron get lost. So this is now sodium ion. Now the configuration will become 2, 8, because it has lost its one electron. Now which configuration this sodium has achieved now? It has achieved the noble gas configuration, that is of neon, because neon is having 10 electrons in its valence shell. So this is the configuration of neon, that is 2, 8 with 10 atomic number. Okay, so it will achieve its nearest noble gas configuration. Similarly, let's say potassium. Potassium configuration is 2, 8. Its atomic number is 19. Z is 19. Here I am writing in bracket. For here Z is 11. Fine. So 2, 8, 9. No, it's wrong. Sorry. 2, 8, 8, 8, 16 and 2, 18, then 1. So last shell contains 1 electron. So again, instead of gaining 7, it will lose 1. So it will form potassium ion. Plus 1 electron is getting lost. Configuration will become 288. That is total 16 plus 2, 18. So nearest noble gas is argon. Argon is having configuration 288 because its atomic number of neon is here 10 and here atomic number is 18. Fine. So in this way, the ions are getting formed so that they just become the stable configuration. They just attain that stable configuration and become more and more stable as compared to their element. If you will say that which one is more stable, sodium and sodium ion. So sodium ion is stable now and sodium is reactive. That's why we say sodium is very, very reactive metal. Why it is reactive? Because it is not stable. Because stability is directly inversely proportional to reactivity. If one is reactive, then it means it is not stable. If it is stable, then it means not reactive. Fine. So accordingly you just see. Fine. So reactivity is inversely proportional to stability. This you just keep in mind. Fine. Okay. Similarly, we'll see how other ions are getting formed. Let's take one more example of calcium. Calcium. So calcium atomic number is 20. Configuration is 2882. It will lose 2 electrons now. Instead of gaining 6, it will lose 2. That is easy for calcium. So calcium 2 positive plus 2 electrons. So whatever the number of electrons are getting lost, again it will achieve the nearest noble gas configuration, that is argon. Z is 18 for argon and configuration is 288. Fine. So this you have to keep in mind. Whatever the number of electrons are present in the valence shell, it will lose all those electrons and that only charge will come on the particular element in the form of the ions. See, sodium has lost 1 electron, so only sodium plus. We have not written sodium 2 positive. So whatever the number of electrons are getting lost, so that only the charge will come on the species. You can say that the charge is equal to the number of electrons lost. This you just keep in mind. Charge on ion is equal to the number of electrons lost. Fine. So in this way, like similarly magnesium also. Magnesium is atomic number is 12 and so many it will be formed in this way only. 282. Again magnesium 2 positive, 2 electrons are getting lost. It will become 28. Nearest noble gas is neon, that is atomic number is 10. So 28 is the configuration. In this way that cations are getting formed. Okay, now let's see the formation of anions. Okay, it's very simple, only you have to apply the concept of configuration. Formation of anions. Now as I told you, anions are formed by gaining electrons. Gaining electrons. Let's take the example of chlorine. Chlorine atomic number is 17. So configuration is 287. So it will gain. See, it is having 7 electrons in its valence shell. How many electrons are required for the completion of octet? Only 1. Okay. Only 1 is required for the completion of octet. But suppose if it has to lose 7 electrons, then it's very difficult to lose. Because energy is required. From where that energy will come. Fine. It's not like that chlorine on its own it's losing its electron. Okay, it takes 7 electrons. It's not like that. Fine. So, instead of losing 7, now it will gain 1 electron. That is easy for chlorine to gain 1 electron. Fine, to achieve the nearest noble gas configuration. So let's see. It will gain 1. So chlorine minus. So whatever number of electrons are getting gained by the anion or gained by the element, then accordingly the charge will come. Similarly, by that is only charge on the ion is equal to the number of electrons. It was there lost. Here it is equal to the number of electrons gained. So now their configuration has 288. So nearest noble gas is which one? Argon. That is Z is 18. Like this. Similarly, We'll see the another species like say fluorine. Fluorine is atomic number is, I think it's 9 and configuration is 2 7. Fluorine neon, yes, it's 9 only. So configuration is 2 7. Fine, then it will gain 1 electron and form fluoride ion, that is 2 8 now. And configuration is nearest now configuration is neon, that is 10, that is of neon 2 8, like argon is 2 8 8. So here you can say that the charge on anion is equal to number of electrons gained. Okay, let's see the rest one. How oxide ion gets formed. All of you know what is oxide now. You are learning. In the 9th standard only you have studied that table, that this charge is present on fluorine, that charge is present on that particular species. But now you are learning how those charges are getting formed. So now no need to learn the charges even. Fine, it's very simple. You can easily on your own calculate that what is the charge on oxygen. So no need to learn that. Okay, so let's see the charge present on oxygen. Oxygen is atomic number, we know that it's 8. Configuration is what? 2 6. So it has to gain 2 electrons. So it will form O2 minus. This is, we know that, oxide ion. Configuration is now 2 8, which is nearest to the neon only. Atomic number 10, that is 2 8. Fine. Similarly, nitrogen. Configuration is what? Nitrogen atomic number is 7. Configuration is 2 5. So it has to gain 3 electrons to achieve the configuration. So it will become N3 minus. That is the nearest noble gas is again neon. It has gained 3. So 2 8, that is neon only. So this is known as nitride ion. Like this. Fine. So in this way the anions and cations are getting formed. Now we'll see how they are coming in contact with one another and how they are forming the bond. Okay. So let's see that. How metal and non-metal they react and form the compound. Okay. Before that, let's see what is the bond. Okay. Bond. Bond is the chemical force of attraction. Chemical force of attraction between the two species. Chemical force of attraction between the two species. As we have seen that how the ions are getting formed by either loss or by either gain of electrons. By either loss or gain of electrons. So bond is a chemical force of attraction between the two species. So let's see. So it's a chemical force of attraction between the two species. So on the basis of that, whether the particular element is losing electrons or it is transferring electrons or sharing electrons, accordingly the bond is of two types. One is ionic bond and one is covalent bond. Okay. So we'll see this bond, this type of bond get formed between metal and non-metal. Okay, and this kind of bond formed between two non-metals. Non-metal and non-metal. Okay, fine. So I hope I'm clear till this topic, that what is the bond and how the ions and this are getting formed. So now let's see the type of bond which is getting formed between metal and the non-metal. So we'll see this. Okay. So let's see how ionic bond gets formed. So let's see how the consider formation of NaCl. NaCl, all of you know, it's a table salt, sodium chloride. So how it is getting formed, that let's see. Sodium configuration is what? 281. Okay. Then chlorine configuration is 287. Okay. So sodium has to lose one electron, chlorine has to accept one electron. Fine. So they'll form the bond. Okay, and here in the while transferring, what will happen here? Sodium it will acts as a electron transfer. Electron transfer will take place from here. So it's a electron donor. Electron donor. And this will be the electron acceptor. This will be the electron acceptor. So electron transfer will take place. Electron transfer will take place from metal towards non-metal. Okay, because oppositely charged species has to combine. Fine. So let's see how it will act as the electron donor and how it will act as the electron acceptor. Okay. So it will. So let's show the electrons. Its valence electron is 1. So we are showing by dot. And here chlorine is having 7. So we are showing by cross. 7. So it needs one more electron for the stability. So this electron will be transferred towards chlorine. So now its octet is also complete. It has become 28 now and it has become 288 now. So configuration has changed and they have converted into the form of their ions. So you can write like this also, Na positive and Cl minus, like this. So this kind of bond is getting formed. So NaCl is this only. That's why we are able to write in the form of Na positive and Cl minus. Otherwise I will not be able to write Na positive and Cl minus. Okay. So in this way, this is the compound is getting formed. So now the bond is getting formed between the two ions. Okay, two oppositely charged ions. So this kind of bond is known as ionic bond, as the ions are involved. Ions are involved. So this type of bond is ionic bond. Fine. Okay. Ionic bond is formed by the transfer of electrons from metal to the non-metal. So let's see its definition and then we'll see more examples. So it's a ionic bond. Ionic bond is formed by the transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal, means donor to acceptor. That is donor to acceptor. Okay. Donor to acceptor. Ionic bond is formed by the transfer of electrons from metal to the non-metal. Fine. And you can say the compounds in which ionic bond is getting formed are known as compounds in which ionic bond is present. Is known as or are known as Ionic compounds. We'll see the properties of this as well. Ionic compounds. Okay, so what is an ionic bond? Is also known as electrostatic or electrovalent bond. Fine, electrostatic or electrovalent bond. So I hope I am clear till here in the ionic bond. Rest we'll see in the next class. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.